At the construction site, concrete looks calm. A gray, liquid mass slowly pours out of the chute. Workers level it with shovels, and everything seems simple and almost primitive. But just a few minutes earlier, something very strange was happening inside the concrete mixer truck. The vehicle, weighing more than 20 tons, drove through the city, jolted over potholes, braked at traffic lights, sat in traffic jams. And all the while, inside it, a mass was in constant motion, literally trying to turn into stone. And this is where the main question arises. Why is it even possible to transport concrete? After all, concrete isn't gasoline or water. It's a material that begins to set almost immediately after mixing. What's more, a concrete mixer truck can hold between 6 and 10 cubic meters of mix. That's roughly 15 to 25 tons. And if it starts setting prematurely, the problem is no longer a construction issue. It becomes a mechanical one. Because then there will be a massive, solid block of concrete inside the drum, and removing it is sometimes nearly impossible. At first glance, the answer seems obvious. The drum rotates, so the concrete is simply mixed and doesn't set. It sounds logical, but that only explains the surface. Because the main problem isn't mixing the concrete. The main problem is controlling the chemical reaction, temperature, moisture distribution, and the behavior of the mixture, which changes its properties literally by the minute. And this is where the most important part begins. To understand why a concrete mixer truck should almost never stop, you first need to understand what concrete actually is. Most people think of concrete as thick mud that somehow hardens over time. But concrete doesn't just dry out, it's a chemical reaction. When cement comes into contact with water, the hydration process begins. The cement particles form crystalline bonds. The mixture gradually loses its plasticity and begins to turn into artificial stone. And this process can't be completely stopped. It can only be slowed down. And that is precisely why time becomes the biggest enemy here. From the moment the mix is loaded, the driver typically has about 60 to 90 minutes to deliver the concrete to the job site. Sometimes a little longer, if special additives are used. But in hot weather, this window shrinks dramatically. In the summer, the temperature inside the drum can rise so high that the concrete begins to set much faster than expected. Now imagine this scenario. There are nearly 20 tons of mixture inside the machine. It's constantly pressing against the drum walls. The machine is stuck in traffic. It's 35 degrees outside. The sun is heating up the metal. Water is gradually redistributing itself within the mixture. And if the drum stops spinning, a whole new set of physics comes into play. Concrete is a heavy material, very heavy. A single cubic meter can weigh about 2,400 kilograms. And when the mixing stops, the mixture begins to settle. The lighter components separate from the heavier ones. The aggregate sinks to the bottom. Areas of varying density form inside. But that's not even the problem. The main issue is that the mixture starts to stick to the walls. First, a thin layer, then a thicker one. And once the process gets going, a hard crust gradually forms inside the drum. Over time, it gets heavier and heavier. The truck ends up carrying not only concrete for construction, but also hundreds of kilograms of hardened material inside its own body. Some older concrete mixers carry nearly a ton of hardened concrete inside. And this affects everything: fuel consumption, balance, the load on the transmission, bearing life, the vehicle's stability. But this raises another question. If rotation is so important, why doesn't the concrete break down inside the drum at all? Why doesn't it turn back into a liquid? Because a concrete mixer truck works in a much more sophisticated way than it seems. Most people think there's just a huge mixer spinning inside, but the drum's design is an engineering compromise between mixing and preserving the mixture's structure. Inside are screw-shaped blades. When the drum rotates in one direction, they lift the concrete upward, and then the mixture falls downward under its own weight. The mixture is constantly tumbling, but it isn't broken down too aggressively. and when the drum is rotated in the opposite direction, the discharge begins. The same blades start pushing the concrete out through the chute. It looks simple, but there's an interesting detail hidden here. The drum's rotation speed is very limited. If it rotates too slowly, the mixture will start to separate. If it rotates too quickly, something else will happen. The crushed stone will start to beat against the mixture too vigorously. Excess air will get trapped inside. The concrete structure will change, and most importantly, the temperature will rise. Yes, the mixing process itself also heats up the concrete, and this is where another hidden problem arises, one that almost no one thinks about: water. On construction sites, you often see drivers adding water to the mixer drum. From the outside, it looks like they're just making the concrete thinner. But in reality, this is a very dangerous practice. That's because water directly affects the strength of the future concrete. Too little water, and the mixture loses its workability and becomes unsuitable for placement. Too much, and the concrete becomes weaker after hardening, and the difference can be enormous. Sometimes, just a few extra liters of water per cubic meter can significantly reduce the structural strength of a building. In other words, inside a concrete mixer truck, there is a constant balancing act between transportability and the future structural integrity of the building, and this is nothing like a regular truck. In fact, the vehicle isn't transporting a finished material, but a chemical process in its active phase, and this process cannot be paused. However, this raises an even more interesting question. Why is concrete transported pre-mixed in the first place? Why not mix everything right on the construction site? And that's exactly how it used to be done. But modern construction requires enormous volumes and consistent quality. At concrete plants, the components are automatically measured with high precision. The moisture content of the sand, the temperature of the mixture, and the cement-to-water ratio are all monitored. Because concrete is an extremely sensitive material, two mixtures that look identical can behave completely differently after just a few months of use. Now imagine how much more difficult the task becomes when that mixture also has to be transported through a bustling city, bridges, curves, traffic jams, uphill climbs, vibrations, and all the while, a semi-solid mass weighing tens of tons is moving inside. This is precisely why concrete mixer trucks have a very specific weight distribution. The drum is positioned at an angle for a reason. Its center of gravity is calculated to ensure that the mixture is distributed as evenly as possible while the vehicle is in motion. Otherwise, the truck would become extremely dangerous when turning, especially when the drum is only partially filled, because this is when the free mass effect comes into play. When a liquid or plastic mixture begins to shift abruptly inside a tank, it creates additional momentum. In ordinary tanks, this is called the sloshing effect. But concrete is much heavier and denser than water, and the consequences can be serious. That is precisely why experienced concrete mixer truck drivers take turns much more cautiously than seems necessary. They aren't just driving a truck, they are driving a moving center of gravity after unloading. Because if even a small amount of concrete remains inside, time starts working against the equipment. The drum must be rinsed out almost immediately. Otherwise, the remaining concrete will start to set on the walls. Gradually, deposits build up inside. Sometimes they have to be chipped away by hand using jackhammers. People literally climb inside the huge drum and spend hours chipping away at the hardened concrete. It's hard and dangerous work. There have been cases where machines were effectively written off because of the excessive amount of hardened material inside. Because removing a multi-ton concrete block from a metal drum is a nearly impossible task. And this is where the true logic behind the entire design becomes clear. A concrete mixer truck only looks like a simple construction vehicle on the outside. In reality, it is a mobile system designed to keep an unstable material in a strictly controlled state. It must simultaneously transport dozens of tons of material, keep it moving, maintain the mixture's structure, prevent it from overheating, avoid segregation, and deliver it all before the chemical reaction inside reaches the point of no return. That's exactly why these machines almost never stop for long, because inside the drum, the countdown is always ticking. And there is a remarkable beauty in engineering here. We're used to thinking of construction equipment as nothing more than brute force, huge machines, metal, mud, and sheer weight. But in reality, even a seemingly simple truck like this exists at the intersection of mechanics, chemistry, time, and the physics of motion. And the more closely you look at such systems, the clearer one thing becomes. Very often, the most complex engineering challenges are hidden within the most familiar machines. So the next time you see a concrete mixer truck's drum slowly turning on the street, keep in mind, this vehicle isn't just transporting concrete. It's carrying a material that has already begun to turn into stone.